Hello everyone, welcome to Bonzer's Simply CSC channel. I am Dr. B.K. Deshpande, Associate Professor, Department of CSC, Cambridge Institute of Technology, Kyarpuram, Bangalore. Today's topic is CPU scheduling. What is CPU scheduling? CPU scheduling is a technique or mechanism in the operating systems which deals with the removal or selection of process. Now you can see the examples which I have shown here: P1, P2, P3, P4. They are all processes which are in the pipeline or which are in the queue. Okay. Initially P1 process is being executed by the central processing of unit, right? In the right side I have mentioned the 5 seconds the particular P1 is going to take, 3 seconds P2 is going to take, 2 seconds P2 takes, and 10 seconds P4 takes, right? The mechanism basically CPU gives attention to the process, okay, for the execution. Now in this CPU scheduling mechanism or technique, there are two methods which are supposed to be employed. Okay, one is non-preemptive. What do you mean by non-preemptive? So it is once a process enters CPU, okay, central processing unit, okay, until it terminates, other processes have to wait, okay, in the queue. Priority is not considered. By looking at this example, when P1 is being executed by the processor, so P2, P3, P4 processes are waiting till P1 is going to complete its execution by the CPU. Okay, so that non-preemptive and also is said to be the process once it is executing cannot be taken out till its execution is completed in the non-preemptive mechanism. Another mode is preemptive. What do you mean by preemptive? If a low priority task, I assume P1 is a low priority task, is currently in the CPU. As I shown you, P1 is being executed, okay, in the CPU. It is considered to be low priority, and another task or process, okay, which is P2, okay, the P2 which comes with high priority, okay, basically it is having high priority. In that juncture, okay, process with high priority demands, okay, the CPU access. The P2 is accessing CPU attention. So earlier CPU was giving attention to the P1. Since P2 has got more priority than P1, that means what? P2 has got high priority compared to low priority of P1. CPU has to fix its access, okay, to the P2, okay. So that overall what I would like to explain about preemptive is, if a low priority task or process is currently in the CPU and another task or CPU with high priority demands CPU access, okay, high priority process demands CPU access, first priority will be removed until high priority task or process terminates, okay. That is the difference between non-preemptive and preemptive related with the process, okay. Next, today I wish to solve one more problem in first come first serve scheduling algorithm. As already you are aware that it is a non-preemptive mode. Okay, what is non-preemptive? It is a non-preemptive is nothing but when the process is executing, that particular process is not taken out, okay, till that particular process is completing its execution. Second one is it works on first come first serve basis. In this, priority is not going to be considered, only we consider first come first serve process. Yes, let me start solving the problem. Consider the following table and calculate average waiting time related with process, okay, and average turnaround time related to process in the first come first serve algorithm. The table is given. Process in first column, second column is arrival time, third column is burst time. P1's arrival time is 0, burst time is 7. P2 process arrival time is 1 and burst time is 1. P3 arrival time is 2, burst time is 3. P4 arrival time is 3, burst time is 2. P5 arrival time is 4, burst time is 6. All the numbers which are given in the arrival time as well as burst time is in terms of milliseconds. Time is in milliseconds. Now, let us schedule the process according to the arrival time and burst time in the Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a horizontal chart, so that we are going to represent what happens in the processor, okay, related with process. Okay, how to schedule the process. First, as far as table is concerned, P1 which arrives at the 0th time. So, initial time in the Gantt chart is 0, and what is the burst time of the P1? 7. So, that at 7 milliseconds P1 is going to complete. Again, P2 comes from the table. What is the arrival time? 1. So, that what is the burst time? So, that you have to complete 7 plus 1. You have to consider 7 plus 1 is 8. Okay, P2 is going to complete at 8. Then P3 comes at, okay, 2 arrival time, okay, 2 milliseconds arrival time, and burst time is 3 milliseconds. So, that it is going to complete. That means what? P3 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, P3 is going to complete. P4, so that arrival time is 3, since burst time is 2, okay, P4 is going to complete. That means what? In the Gantt chart it was 11, so that P4 is going to complete by taking 2 milliseconds. 11 plus 2 equal to 13. P5 burst time, it takes 6 milliseconds since arrival time is 4. So, that 13 plus 6 equal to 19. So, that in this way P1, P2, P3, P4, P5 processes are scheduled, okay, in the processor. Now, let us find out completion time, turnaround time and waiting time. Okay. So, that in the first column I told you that all the processes are mentioned, arrival times are mentioned, and burst time is also mentioned as per the given table. Okay. Now, you have to find out completion time. How to find the completion time? Completion time, okay, is going to be considered from the Gantt chart. Okay. Completion time of the P1 is how much? 7. P2, what is the completion time of the P2? 8 milliseconds. Okay, what is the completion time of the P3? 11 milliseconds. And what about P4? 13 milliseconds. What about P5? Completion time? 19 milliseconds. Okay, after finding out completion time of the each process, next step is what? Turnaround time. Turnaround time is going to be found out by subtracting completion time minus arrival time. Okay, 7 minus 0 is 7, 8 minus 1 is 7, 11 minus 2 is 9, 13 minus 3 is 10, 19 minus 4 is 15. So this is how we have found out turnaround time of the each process. Then waiting time is going to be completed by subtracting turnaround time minus burst time. Okay, 7 minus 7, 0, 7 minus 1 from the burst time, 6, 9 minus 3 equal to 6 waiting time, 10 minus 2 equal to 8, 15 minus 6 equal to 9, and also waiting time column is also completed. Okay, now we need to find out average time. How to find the average time? You have to add all the waiting time of the each process divided by number of processes. How many number of processes are there? 5 processes. So that it comes around 5.8 milliseconds. Average waiting time is 5.8 milliseconds. Again, average turnaround time is going to be calculated by adding all the turnaround time of the each process divided by 5. Okay, so that number of processes are 5, so that we get the answer is 9.6 milliseconds. Okay, in this way we have to find out average waiting time as well as average turnaround time. I hope you understood the first come first serve scheduling algorithm. If you have any queries, please comment in my channel. Thanks for watching my channel.